Well, I'm Donnie Jokum, and Bureau of General Services is a partnership between Mr. Greg Newton and I.
Let's do a little more slick version.
Slick.
I am Donnie Jokum. I am Greg Newton. We are Bureau of General Services Queer Division.
Okay.
Come on, play along.
Hi, I'm Donnie Jokum.
I'm Greg Newton, and we are Bureau of General Services Queer Division. Bureau of General Services Queer Division is going to be a queer bookstore and event space in New York City. We decided to open this, to found the bookstore, when we realized there were no more queer bookstores in New York. A Different Light had closed, Oscar Wilde had closed, and we thought, how can it be that New York City doesn't have a queer bookstore? And we started thinking and decided, why not us? It's exciting to see people are very interested in local businesses doing well, smaller businesses, people who are really invested in what they're selling and the kind of space they're providing.
And I think what our model is going to be is, in terms of a community bookstore, it's also going to have space for events, lectures, artist shows, author signings and readings, you name it.
Performances,
right.
Theater, poetry readings.
Right.
We also want to have health advocates come. We're in an exciting time where queer is expanding. That term is becoming broader and broader to include all sorts of people who feel marginalized in some way, or who feel that they want to challenge the status quo. People who aren't represented, whose bodies aren't represented, whose lives aren't represented in the dominant culture.
And there's a lot of movement now within the queer community to start recording the past, because a lot of it is disappearing. A lot of that comes from the AIDS epidemic and a large proportion of the population disappearing, and the talent that was there at the time in the 80s and the 90s. So I think with a bookstore, it's really important to remember that books transmit the message in hand. Yes, you can get it online, but there's one thing that you don't get online, and that's a face-to-face interaction in a space itself.
So we have a website, Bgsqd.com. We're also on Facebook and Tumblr and tweeting on Twitter.
I think it's important to spread the word, because that's kind of how we're working this. Get onto the website, donations. Spread the word. We're looking for anyone who wants to contribute, really. I mean, that's our next step, is how do we get the community involved and we drive the message, word of mouth, grassroots. It's very organic. So that's what I think a lot of people can do in their own communities if they're not in New York and they visit the website or they go on Facebook. And then when we finally do have a space open, I think, again, it's still all about word of mouth.